Okay, hi, it's Garnet, and I'd like to talk to you about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, the whole enchilada. Oftentimes when I begin a public event, kind of an introduction to neuroplasticity and the Neuro Light, I say in the beginning that the Neuro Light is really not important, which can be, a little bit confusing or shocking. Here they are. I'm the creative designer, technical composer, all these things, and I'm saying the Neuro Light is really not important. Then, of course, I pause and say, it's not important unless you understand neuroplasticity. If you understand neuroplasticity, the Neuro Light becomes extremely important. So, neuroplasticity and the Neuro Light. What's the whole enchilada? Meaning, what's the big story? What's the overview? I think it's extremely important to have an appreciation about this exciting promise of neuroplasticity and how it relates to the Neurolight, or maybe the other way around, how the Neurolight relates to neuroplasticity. One of the things I'd like you to understand is that as beautiful, as wonderful, as effective as the Neurolight is or can be, it's part of the puzzle. I believe that you will get the most out of the Neurolight if you get the most out of your neuroplastic capacity. What does that mean? Maybe that sounds a little oblique, but the idea here is that how you live your life. There's a book, you might want to read it. It's from a particular perspective. It's by Joe Dispenza, who's becoming a well-known authority on neuroplasticity. And the title of the book to me is the whole book. It's more important than anything in the book, at least it was for me. And maybe you know the book. The title of the book is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. So, here's this. Years ago, when I had an active practice seeing wellness-related clients back in California, I'm here in Thailand right now. It's August 31st, 2017 today, here. I had a brochure, and on the front of the brochure, there we go, some information, but there was a saying, and the saying is, if you want things to be different, you're going to have to change. If you want things to be different, you're going to have to change. Which kind of relates to, I believe it was from Lang, who was a controversial psychiatrist mostly in the 70s. I think it was him, maybe somebody else, that had a saying, also instructive, kind of the same message. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. Maybe a bit extreme, but you get the point. So, I often talk about neuroplastic reinforcements, the idea that there are things that you're doing, could do, should do, don't do, that create a kind of a context for Neurolight sessions. How you live your life, what you're doing, what I'm doing, on a daily basis is extremely powerful. And I can do, and I do, Neurolight sessions for myself, particular goals, what I call a vector. And the issue is that they are going to be more or less effective dependent on a lot of other factors. I can go, as an analogy, I can go to a psychologist and get good advice, maybe have a great session, some great insights, but then if I walk out of the session and I fall exactly back into my old patterns, my old habits, my own reactions, it's as though the counseling session, the psychologist session, might have been kind of fun, like going to a movie, but it didn't make any damn difference in my life because I didn't seek that kind of change. So, when you involve yourself with the Neurolight, when you begin to explore and appreciate neuroplasticity, look at the way you are how you respond, and the kinds of reinforcements. You know, sometimes you can get a little maybe overwhelmed trying to figure out exactly what kind of reinforcement exercise goes with what kind of neurolight session, with what kind of vector. And yeah, you know, some of us will become that detailed, that we're attracted to it. It's a talent we have. We've got the information source. And you know, there is, of course, things that I'm offering in that area. But I can say in general, here are some things to consider to get the most out of the neurolight, to get most out of neuroplasticity. One, physically active. Now, whether you call it exercise or not, that's up to you, but you've got to use your body. You know, your body is your brain is your body. Anything that I'm doing like now, gesturing, is my brain. This is what it looks like when my brain gestures with my body. It looks like this. That's my brain. That's my body. Why separate them? So, activity. Move your body in different ways. You can have exercise. One of the very, very, very best, and this comes out of quite a profound study recently, is, and I think it's a Scandinavian study where they did the study structures, all the methods are in place, and a group of people doing exercises, interval exercises and so on, and another group, and by the way, their mean age was about basically my age, the late 60s. Exercise, well-formulated, regular exercise. I think it was mostly interval training, but something of the exercise category. The other group, dancing. And different dances, learning new dances, this one and that one, I forget the names of the different dances, but not just learning one dance step. Everybody improved, impressively. You probably guess where I'm going here. The people that did the dancing improved more than the simple interval training. So be active, dance, even whether you have a dance partner or not. Turn on some music or just hear the music in your head and dance. One of the most profound things I'd ever seen, this goes back a few decades now, is a documentary of this dancer who created a dance therapy form and it grew out of his own experience, because he was trying to work out a complicated life, you could say a tragic life. And what he did was he danced out the story of his life. I've done little bits of that, and it's so powerful, it's kind of disarming. So imagine without music, if you like, I don't know if you could find music, dance your life. Either dance the whole thing, or just dance yesterday, or dance what you hope for tomorrow, or dance what you feel today. So, activity, exercise, your body is your brain is your body. Your brain is physical, so be physical. The other is, and this is well proven from a number of studies, is that for neuroplastic change, isolation can be really not so good. Try to be social, interact. One of the best neurological reinforcements you can do for neuroplastic change is to engage in meaningful conversation with other people. Don't just chit-chat or talk about the weather. Attempt to engage in something meaningful and converse, interact, share the idea back and forth. So one is physical activity, probably one of the most attractive is dancing. If you don't like dancing, try it. Alone if you want. Put on some music. The other is expose yourself to social interaction, talk about important things, be with people as much as you can. If not, if you've got animals, make sure you have great conversations with your dog or your ape or whomever you hang out with. There's a long list. Music kind of related to dance. Learn new things, whatever it is. Don't rest in the same old, same old, same old. Read a book you thought you wouldn't. Go to a movie you thought you wouldn't. Go to a place you thought you wouldn't. Or you've always wanted to, but you didn't. this kind of, I guess what I'm describing is more of a perspective or an attitude than actually a methodology, because if you resist the change in yourself, you are resisting neuroplastic change. I'll go back to that opening book title, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. This idea of who you are, this mental movie that I call me, wants certain things, certain good things, or less of certain bad things. But maybe if I want to stay me and have the changes happen, and then once I have the changes, then I'm going to change me, or maybe I don't want to change me at all, I just want the good stuff, there'll be disappointment. This is not the road to neuroplastic change. So there is some risk, but there is a huge reward. Try and see if you can experience the whole enchilada of neuroplastic change, and in this way, the Neuro Light is going to light up your life in ways that you never expected. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.